Good morning, class. In our class of today, we are going to model a structure of sodium chloride. Okay, remember we are studying bonding, and we are going to see how sodium chloride bond, how sodium ions bond with chloride ions to form sodium chloride compound. That's basically the table salt that we have at home. Okay, remember here we have the green balls will act as our chloride ions, and the gray balls will act as our sodium ions. Are we together? And remember, in our class, we say that each sodium atom is bonded to each chloride ions. And remember also, each sodium ions is bonded to 6 more chloride ions, okay, to form a compound called sodium chloride. So remember, we are going to start with first sodium ion bond at this particular point, and these other sodium ions will bond to this chloride ion. Remember, these are two chloride ions bonded to this particular point. Remember, we have 6 of them, that has 6 of chloride ions that are supposed to be bonded to chloride ions. Here we have the third one, the fourth one. We have the fourth one here. Then we have the fifth at this particular point. The fifth one is here. The chloride ion is here. The sixth chloride ion is here. Sixth chloride ion is here. So this is how basically sodium ion is bonded to other 6 chloride ions. Are we together? And also remember that for each chloride ions is supposed to be bonded to other 6 sodium ions. So we are going to model how chloride ions is bonded to 6 sodium ions. Here we go. First one is here. First one is here. First sodium is there. Here we take this one. Second sodium is here. Here we take this one. Third sodium is here. And the fourth sodium is this particular end. The fifth sodium, have the fifth sodium here. And lastly, we have the sixth sodium here. So you see, we have here is our chloride ion, and it's bonded to 6 more sodium ions. There is our first sodium ion, second sodium ion, third sodium ion, fourth sodium ion, fifth sodium ion, and lastly our sixth sodium ion is at that particular end. So we go on, continue to model it. Continue to model it. Continuing to model. Remember, this is sodium ion. It's being bonded to 6 chloride ions. Okay. Okay. This bond attaches itself to this particular end. Our chloride ion is here. And remember, these bonds are held together by strong electrostatic forces of attraction. So here we have our sodium here. It's bonded to this chloride ion, and the fourth chloride ion. We are remaining with 2. We have the fourth, the fifth here. And lastly, we have our 6 chloride ions in this particular end. Okay, let's go on. Have this bond. Also have this one. Remember, this is sodium. It's attaching itself to chloride ions by stronger electrostatic forces of attraction. Have that one. Have this. Chloride ions attach itself there. Another chloride ion attaches itself to this particular end. Okay. Lastly, we have this part here touching itself to this particular end. Okay. Sodium chloride is basically a giant ionic structure, and it's a type of an ionic bonding that takes place when sodium ions reacts with chloride ions to form a giant ionic structure called sodium chloride. Okay, let's go on. Here we have our sodium ion. Our sodium ion here, and its bond is chloride ion through strong electrostatic forces of attraction. Strong electrostatic forces of attraction results to hold these sodium ions and chloride ions together. Sodium ions, remember this is chloride ion here, we are supposed to be having sodium ion. Okay. This is basically how our structure is going to look like. A model of sodium chloride structure in our laboratory. So here we have chloride ion. It's supposed to be having sodium ion here touching itself to that particular point. And here we have sodium ion. We are supposed to bond to these chloride ions using strong electrostatic force of attraction. And recall sodium chloride is basically a giant ionic structure. It's basically giant ionic structure. Here we have sodium ion. We're supposed to bond to chloride ions at this particular end. And they join together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. So here we're supposed to have our sodium ion at this end. And chloride ion being bonded to this sodium ion. They are joined together by strong electrostatic forces of attraction. And lastly, in this particular point, we are going to have sodium ion being bonded to this chloride ion. And we have they are joined together by strong electrostatic forces of attraction. And basically, this is the structure of sodium chloride. That we have made. So in your groups, using the white balls and the grey balls, using the white balls and the black balls, let your black ball act as sodium ion and the white ball to act as chloride ion. So model the structure of sodium chloride, which is a table salt, in your groups and discuss.